So, Victoria Pendleton, welcome to Sportsvibe TV, and you are in a shirt which has got Hovis on it. In fact, you look like somebody delivering bread. But there's a reason for this, isn't there?
Yes, I'm at a photo shoot today for the Hovis Wholemeal Breakfast Challenge. I'm encouraging people to have a healthy wholemeal breakfast, so they're not as tempted to have a dangerous sugary snack before lunch.
Fine. Now, this is very important. I've got some very piercing questions to ask you on this. Okay. Bread, slices, thick, medium or thin?
Medium, I think, definitely. Then you've got the option somewhere in between. I think if you go thin and the toast comes out too crispy, and thick, obviously the same, it comes out a bit spongy in the middle, and I like it, somewhere in between.
I mean, these are the real issues, Vicky. I mean, never mind the cycling, this is important.
Always medium cut.
Crusts on or off?
On. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Apparently crust will make your hair curl, that's what I was told, and my hair's fairly wavy, so yeah, crust on.
Bread, white, brown, wholemeal, or my particular favourite, granary.
Well, I have to say, I quite like most types of bread. Wholemeal, I think, is probably my favourite, just because it's a little bit tastier sometimes. Although, I do like other types of bread too. Sometimes certain things white bread will only do, but wholemeal is definitely top of the list. Just because it, the whole grain's good for you. I feel good about myself buying it. Give yourself a pat on the back.
Now, for me, I just like a bit of butter or marge, and that's it. Don't cover it, don't smother it, don't spoil it. How about you?
No, I'm a big fan of a little bit of butter, I have to say.
Nothing else?
Real butter on toast. I do like jam. I've actually made some jam in the past. My mum is excellent at making
jam. You make
jam?
Jam?
Yes, I've made jam and it was very successful. My mum taught me.
Particular flavours?
Raspberry, hands down.
Oh, right. Oh, that's it. No contest.
No contest.
Okay, fine.
I love raspberries, and raspberry flavoured jam is that kind of not too sweet, a bit sharp still, perfect.
Right, well, but, these are the issues of today that we need to talk about, Vicky. Now, you are the girl, not the boy, the girl in the new Hovis commercial, pushing your bike up a hill, supposed to be northern, isn't it?
Yes.
It was in Devon or somewhere, wasn't it?
Yeah, I always thought it was in the sort of north of England. It's definitely a misconception, I think, that it was actually somewhere down south. Very lovely, very icy day, but it was good fun. I quite enjoyed wearing the little outfit.
Now, your brother, twin brother,
yeah,
indeed, Alex, somebody told me that it all began basically with you racing against. Well, your dad was a cyclist, wasn't he? Let's get that straight first. Pretty good cyclist himself, wasn't he?
Yes, he's been a national champion. He's pretty well known in the cycling world in the UK.
So that's where the genes are.
From, yeah, I mean, I spent my childhood watching my dad race, and it was only natural, I think, that when we're old enough that we get on our bikes ourselves and do the same.
I was going to say, so that's where the cycling comes from, and that's where the competitive edge comes from, honed by taking on your brother.
Yeah, exactly. I've got a twin brother, and I always saw myself as equal, if not slightly better at sport. So I think I never saw limits in being a girl. I always wanted to be the best I could. So I think that might be something to do with it, really.
And you used to race against each other? Yeah. Well, I mean, in all sports you were competitive, were you?
Yeah. Everything, yeah, because he was quite sporty too, but yeah, we always used to race each other around.
And who used to win these races?
It depended. Over the years it changed a lot. When we were really young we were quite even, and then I started to grow obviously earlier, and for a short while I was better than him, and then he caught up and came past me, so it was quite different. Obviously now I beat him on a bike, so it's kind of...
Well, you'd hope so,
wouldn't you?
Over the
years it's kind of changed a bit like that, but so yeah.
What's he like? Because I mean, the nice girl that you are, I bet you're not great when you lose, so what's he like when he loses?
He actually...
Especially to his sister.
As children, we used to argue and fight a lot, and always make up at the end. It was never like we never hold a long-term grudge. Maybe a couple of hours or something, as all kids do. But he's quite laid back actually. He's competitive, but in a different way than I am. I think if I'm trying to compete, he's like, go on then, win. It means more to you, and he's quite laid back. He's quite laid back. It's like yin and yang.
Well, you're famously, I take this as a compliment, because everybody thinks you're great at what you're doing, you're a really nice girl, but you are a tiger. We all know this, and with your routine and your training, and I don't know what you like at home, but there's a reason why you win world titles. Is that ever going to leave you? I mean, maybe after
Probably.
Beijing?
I think, do you know what, I feel my competitive instinct isn't necessarily as strong as it was becoming world champion. I think once you've achieved it, obviously you want to win it again and want to retain the title. But it's a little bit different. It's like I don't need to prove myself anymore because I've already done it. So I think actually as I get older, I'm actually getting more chilled out. I mean, I love routine, I love my training regime, and I like training hard. It's just what I've always done, and I get a lot out of it. But I think it's in a more reasonable perspective now, I think. Now I'm getting a bit more older and wiser in my age.
Well, there's no doubt you're Olympic champion, you're 8-time world champion, you don't have to prove yourself to anybody, least of all you. Having said that, there's a certain Olympic Games coming up very soon, and you have got your way, quite rightly too. You've got the chance to go at 3 events, the sprint, the team sprint and the Kevin, which is what you've been crying out for at the Olympics. So there's another mountain to climb, isn't there?
Oh, there is. I mean, I think people will be expecting me to bring back 3 gold medals like Chris Boyd and think that that's an easy feat, or, we just rock up to a cycling competition, clear out all the gold medals and leave, but it's not like that, it's there's more opportunities, which is great. There'll be a bigger female team attending the Olympics, which is also amazing, because it means that the young girls coming through now have a chance to be part of the team and are funded as part of the team to really follow their dreams and ambitions, whereas before it was kind of just me, because I didn't have the reason to support any other female cyclists. So it's definitely good for the sport, and I'm going to try my hardest to win another gold medal, believe me.
Now listen, where does the power come from? Because the general public will look at you and think, well, you're not very big, you're not completely muscular, I mean, but yet you've got...
I do try, but...
No, but you have an enormous power, quite clearly. We see it every time you're on a bike, you see it. Where does that come from?
Power to weight ratio. What little mass I do have is quite high power to weight ratio, and also the fact that I have a very low drag coefficient, which means as I'm small and slight and my muscle isn't going outwards so much, I'm very aerodynamic. So it takes me less power to get up to the peak speed. Therefore, I'm a more efficient engine. I'm a freak really in the cycling world. So I'm just very lucky to be blessed with those 2 factors, which mean I can go faster than bigger, stronger girls.
Now, talking about bodies, Smithy, Sports Personality of the Year. He basically, in front of an awful lot of people and the great and the good of British and world sport, was giving you the come on.
He was.
How did you feel about that?
A little bit embarrassed, obviously very flattering as well at the same time, very flattering. I mean, he could have laid into me and that would have been horrific, but no, I think I got the better end of the deal.
So what happens now then, Vicky? You've bagged another world title. We've got the Commonwealth Games, I'm sure you know this, in October, so what happens between now and then?
Well, it's actually a bit difficult because the UCI have brought out a qualification process for the next Olympics, which starts basically this year, and they've decided that the European Championships will be open to points, and therefore they've been scheduled the same time as the Commonwealth Games currently. It may change, but at the moment we don't know which event we'll be going to, because obviously there's no points to gain qualification at the Commonwealth Games, but there are at the Europeans. So it's in our interest really to go to the Europeans instead, in terms of qualifying for the Olympics and getting those places confirmed. So it's a really bit of a difficult situation. I really don't know what the outcome will be, but I knew it hadn't been set in stone, but there's lots of discussions going on at the moment.
Okay, well, great to see you, Victoria, and I hope you enjoy your bread. We've ascertained it's medium, isn't it, with crusts. If it's toast, it's sort of medium.
Yes.
Bit of jam, homemade jam. Wholemeal raspberry, and then the day's ahead of you, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Ready to fight, power me through to lunch and fight through the day.